I'm Lindsay. So I'm a gamer, artist, and cosplayer. I pretty much just like to lift people up, be positive, share, my experiences, because I've been cosplaying for about 10 years and gaming, since I was old enough to be on the computer.
So Gamers4Positivity, I'll tell you a little bit about here. We're just simply a Facebook group. Just several gamers come together for gaming, but we stick around to help encourage and boost each other up. We're always trying to do something on the page. I've got a few people I know of that want to start cosplaying and they haven't had the opportunity to yet.
Okay.
Any advice? Any suggestions?
Yeah, so I would say just cosplay whoever you want to do. Don't cosplay someone just because someone told you you look like them or someone said you should cosplay. Make sure it's a character that you love and you want to bring to life. Because if you try to cosplay someone just because you look like them, you're not going to have fun with it. And I don't think you're going to put as much energy and effort into it. But if you cosplay a character that you love, even if you look nothing like them, you're not the same gender, height, weight, anything, if you love that character, you can make it your own. There's some insanely talented cosplayers out there, so if you're just starting out, don't try to compete with people that do it for a living full-time. Start small, just some casual cosplays. Even a casual cosplay sometimes can cost like $100, so don't take on more than you can afford and more than you can handle at first. So just start out small, even just buying some contacts and a wig. You can start playing around with makeup and doing casual ones, and then you can slowly add to it as you learn. And then also looking up tutorials on YouTube and stuff can really help. That's how I learned how to make some of the props that I did. So.
If you're interested, Lindsay's got great pictures up on her webpage. Definitely check that out, some of the work she's done. Talk about, I know you have a few things you're going to talk about, like gaming-wise.
Yeah, I think, a lot of us female gamers, we can all tell a story about how we've been either bullied or criticized just based on our sex. So, and professional gamers and streamers get it even worse, I think, because they just have a much bigger audience that they're trying to appeal to. So I think sometimes with the negative comments, you have to take a step back and look at who the comment's coming from first, and make sure you're not reading it out of context, because sometimes you see a comment that's like, hey, why are you not healing, or whatever it is, and you want to get defensive, but they might not mean anything by it, because I know text can often lead to misinterpretation. But if it is clearly just negative criticism and they're not actually giving you anything positive to make you a better player, then I would say either ignore it, or if it bothers you, then just respond with positivity. Say, thank you so much for your feedback. And then they don't really know what to say back when you respond with positivity, because they want you to get triggered. They want you to fight back. And that's a lot of times that's what they're looking to get a rise out of you. So. And
it's okay to ignore them. I mean, if it's a comment, you can say something, yes, but it's okay to also, I know there's some that are trying to get a rise. Everyone knows someone that's like that. But I know there's some people who don't know they're crossing a line. I know you've shared a few examples of that.
Yeah.
And it's okay to tell them that they're asking the wrong questions.
Yeah, that's true. I played a game, just solo queue, and I was healing on Lucio or something, and then Anna, and I was healing them really well. I had over 12,000 healing after the second round. And I finally, I decided to talk a little bit in the voice channel. I didn't know I was in a group with a bunch of much younger guys, and they, as soon as I started talking, they were started laughing, and they were like, "Are you a dude?" And I was like, "No, I'm a female." And they were like, "Oh, 'cause you sound like a dude." And I was like, and you don't really know what to say. You're just so I was like, thanks. And he's like, it wasn't a compliment. And I was like, oh, okay, well. And all you can really do is I just reported them, but at the time, I wanted to just cuss them out or something, but at the time, it's just they're children, they don't know, they're kind of immature, they don't really know,
See, my thoughts here as a gamer is you never insult the healer.
Right.
I
know.
That's my thought. You're just oh, hey, you're great, you're fantastic, please stay on top of me. Like,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Yeah, we were winning, and they're like, I'm like, why would you guys do that? And then it made me not want to heal them, to be honest, but I did still heal them, but anyway, so that was my most recent story with gaming and stuff like that. But I've had other people that, like, in the group, or in the actual chat thing, you know, say inappropriate things like, you know, oh, you know, you must be fat, or like, oh, I bet you're, like, some will say, like, I bet you're really hot, or I bet you're, like, really fat and ugly, and it just comes out of nowhere, and you're just like, find a group that you trust, one that respects you and knows that, you know, you're not in this, you know, you're not playing games just to appeal to men or appeal to someone. You're playing games because you love them, and there's no such thing as, like, a gamer girl.
I put that in quotes because that's kind of a term that floats around. But no, I'm not going to post her on purpose because just the term gamer girl, it makes certain assumptions.
Yeah.
It paints, for everyone, it paints a different picture.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's like a stereotype of sorts, and everyone's got kind of their definition there. And I don't think any of them are really that accurate. Because I mean, if you have a team game, then yes, like, pick the people you want to play with. If you don't like this person, then don't sit there and make their game worse.
Yeah, I would say just ignore it or respond with positivity. And that's with anything too, even with cosplay. If someone says a negative comment and you're like, oh, you know, thank you, I'm working on it, then they don't really know how to, you know, react. Oh, there was something else I wanted to say that I've noticed that has helped me a lot in Overwatch. Ever since that incident, I've been trying to start a game off on a really positive note. So, like, let's say you're in a game of Overwatch or in some kind of group game and you see someone that has, like, a cool battle tag or a cool username, just be like, hey, cool, you know, cool username. Like, just something to kind of break the ice with your team and also kind of show them that you're, like, a lighthearted, positive person. And, or, like, if you're really, it's really early on in the game and, like, your healer's doing really well, just write really quick in the team chat, like, hey, great heals. And, like, when people know that you're a positive person and you're gonna compliment, they're not really as likely to, like, come at you with these, like, random attacks and stuff.
Some people, a lot of people though, that I find that if you're just like, oh, hey, you're so and so, like, that's a great character, you're gonna be great, like, to set that tone.
Yeah, it can help. And I know recently I usually play Diva or Orisa or Winston on tanks, but recently I really wanted to pick up Reinhardt, so I was like, okay, I'm picking up Reinhardt, and then when the game started, I thought, like, maybe I should just start off the game and say, hey guys, like, I just want to let you know, like, I don't have a lot of experience on Reinhardt, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to learn him, so if you see something off, just know that I'm learning. Like, I'm working on him.
The great thing about Overwatch is that you can switch out.
Yeah.
You don't have to stick to that character. You're not going to ruin the whole round.
Yeah, if you're just testing it out. So, but sometimes just being vulnerable, in my opinion, can...
I want to point out, and this is one of those things that, like, it's easy to say, and it's not so easy to deal with if it's something you're dealing with, but you don't have to please everybody.
Yeah.
If someone is trolling you, if someone just is trying to get a rise out of you, you don't have to listen to them. With the game, especially most video games, you can disconnect your audio, which, yeah, that's going to hurt your game, but if you have to do it, do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to respond.
Mm-hmm.
I've had instances where I've had games where I put my audio in my headset, and I'll just put my headset on the floor. And I'll just play it, and I'm just like, whatever happens, happens at this point. So, but you don't have to have that negativity. It doesn't have to be around you. And yeah, if you can play with the group that you know, definitely do that. That's great. Mm-hmm. That's going to help boost you.
It helps a lot with my social anxiety, just having at least one or two people to play with, because sometimes I know a lot of people, like, especially in competitive, they get mad if people don't want to join the voice channel. But there are people like me who, like, you know, I feel intimidated going in by myself if I'm in solo queue and talking, especially after that comment with the voice thing. So having a friend with you, I feel like it just helps you have a little bit of social support in those group situations.
it's hard to argue with someone if they agree with you.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
like, if they're dogging you, you can brush over your shoulder and be like, you know what, you're right, and just keep going. It makes
Yeah.
it very difficult for them to feel like they're above you if you're agreeing with them.
That is a really great tip, actually. Like, yeah, that was.
Hey, you're the worst. You're right.
Yeah.
I am horrible. You know?
Or like, I screwed that up really hard, and then it kind of makes everybody just laugh and take it less seriously. But that's as far as gaming. I think it's just taking a step back. You know, sometimes we're so quick to react, and there's a lot of times if I had just taken a step back and like, you know, realize maybe this person's played 14 games and they've lost every single game, and now they're just kind of taking it all out of me. Sometimes you can kind of separate yourself from their emotions, and don't let someone bring their storm into your peace. Bring your peace into their storm.
That's a nice quote. Okay, we know you're a big Overwatch fan. Is there any other games that you've experienced any issues with?
When I played Heroes of the Storm for the first time, someone was like, "Man, our tracer sucks," and I was like level 2. I just picked up the game like a day ago. The next game I played, Diva, it was a completely different game because I realized that Tracer, at least on Heroes of the Storm, doesn't really fit my playstyle. I think it's finding the character that you feel confident playing.
Let's reverse the roles for a minute. So let's say you're playing with someone that you don't agree with and you don't like playing with because of whatever. Is there anything you find yourself doing to help kind of mitigate that situation?
It depends. If it's on my team, if it's someone on my team, like let's say I'm playing with a friend and they invite some other person to play, and I don't really like the way that they play, I usually try to take the lead and say, hey, why don't we go left or something. Like I'll just kind of and like try to change the subject and make it the focus just on the game and not what we're disagreeing about.
So I'm a big RPG guy. I play a lot of RPGs, and I find myself usually doing support of some kind. There's a few people I play with that kind of know that, especially my wife. She's just like, all right, so I know who you're going to play, and we haven't even picked characters yet. I mean, as a support, like, you'll come across the person that you don't agree with because they run out, or they're not playing with the team, or they're just doing their own thing. I kind of, like, you know, kind of pick and choose my own battles. I'll try to guide for a while, but if they're not getting the message, I'm like, well,
yeah,
I can only do so much. I'm going to do what's best for the team if they're going to have me choose. But it's fun. Like, I enjoy, that's what I enjoy. I enjoy playing, and I'll do the best I can to make that better. And if it's a random person I don't usually play with, I'll try to get them out of the group next go round.
There's like a misconception that females only play healers and guys are like not allowed to play healers. Like I saw this toxic group. It was like some kind of forum, and they were saying, one guy was saying like, ew, I would never want to be healed if I knew that the player was a dude. And I couldn't believe that someone would say that, because I feel like guys can play healer, girls can play tanks. Like, I think I like playing tank even more than I like playing healer, and I'm a female, so I think we need to break those stereotypes.
That might not be their only character. I mean, if I'm playing a group, I'm going to be the heal. If I'm playing solo, I'm not going to play heal. Yeah. So you had some cosplay tips. Well, let's bring it back around to cosplay.
Oh, yeah. So cosplay. You know, just remember why you're cosplaying. Don't forget about that. When you're at a con, you know, remember if you hear someone say something negative, remember that you're cosplaying for you. You're doing this because you love the character. You want to bring it to life in your own way, but you don't require other people's validation for your cosplay to be a good cosplay.
So let's talk etiquette for a minute. So as someone who hasn't done any cosplay, but I've seen people with great cosplays, and the ones that I really admire, I want to just approach them and be like, hey, can I take your picture? Is there like a right and wrong way to do that?
I think just saying, like, walking up to someone saying, hey, I love your cosplay, do you mind if we get a picture together? That's, like, perfect to me, because, you know, that's totally fine. But I do get people that will just take pictures of me without even asking. Just, like, they'll walk in front of you and just take a picture. Like, that, I feel like, is kind of crossing the line a little bit. I had a guy walk by me who's by himself. We were by ourselves, and he just, like, took a picture of us. And you're kind of like, you know. And then I've heard of people being groped and stuff, so that's definitely, of course, not okay. And I think one thing for people that don't cosplay is, like, if you make a comment, like, let's say someone passes you and you make a comment, even if you're whispering, more than likely that person might end up hearing you, because I've had that happen many times where I pass someone and, like, most of the time you hear it you're like, oh, that's sweet, because someone will pass you and they'll be like, oh, that was a cool diva. And there's part of me that wish we had gotten to engage and talk about Overwatch or something. But then I had another situation where I passed this this table, and this guy and his friend were like, hey, I thought that Diva had a flat stomach. And they looked at me, and I looked at him, and I was like, at the time, I was actually like 30 pounds lighter than I am now. And I wasn't like completely flat, but like I felt like I had a fairly flat stomach at the time. And I was just like, what does he expect? Me to not have organs? Like, where am I put my organs?
Last I checked, Diva was CGI.
Yeah. And I mean, like, no one's gonna have some of these features. The next day, we were like looking through their booth, and they were being like super nice to me and like almost like flirtatious. It was just really strange for them to say a negative comment, and then the next day, you know, when I'm cosplaying and like face to face, they don't. Like, it's almost like the opposite. I don't know. The toxicity in cosplay is more online. In face to face, like, I'd say 99% of your interactions are going to be positive. It's internet where people can hide and they can, you know, make comments without having to say it to your face. Like learning to stand up for yourself. I had recently had a situation, and I ended up just saying, hey, you know, your question made me feel uncomfortable. And we worked it out, like, we're totally cool now, and they respected what I said, and they understood. So I think just being open, for me, has really helped. But I think the biggest thing with cosplay coming in is just, you know, not trying to compete with people, because cosplay is not about competition, unless you're actually entering a contest, you know, but...
I mean, to a point though. Like, yes, you want to win, so you want to do what's going to take to win, but it doesn't mean that you're spiteful towards your other people.
Yeah, even then, even in the contest, there still should be that good sportsmanship. If you're just going to a con or a party or something, and you see another diva, there's no reason to feel threatened by them, or another, like, Spider-Man or whoever you're cosplaying. The My Hero Con, and I was dressed up as Todoroki, but like a female version. And I saw another female Todoroki, and hers was like 10 times better as far as just quality of materials. She had like the fire on her arm and ice on the other arm. And in my mind, I was just like, man, you know, at first I wanted to feel insecure and be like, oh, and just kind of hide, because I felt like, okay, no one's going to want to look at my cosplay because hers is like way better. But instead, like, I saw her later that day, and I was like, hey, I just wanted to tell you, like, your cosplay looks really good, and it's like amazing. And after I complimented her, because I knew it was better, after that, like, I felt like this release, like, of tension, like I didn't need to compete anymore. I didn't need to feel inferior just because hers was better. And I think just being supportive of others cosplayers, big and small, can really help go a long way.
I've seen people that they have certain traits or physical features, and they think that that's going to restrict them from doing what they want to do. And as you mentioned earlier, like, if you want to cosplay a certain character, do that character. I've seen some great cosplays with people who have something that would normally set them back, and they made that to their strength, and that's what made their costume great. I've seen a lot of people who cross races,
yeah,
and made it work. You don't have to let physical restrictions stop you from being the character, being the representation that you want to be.
You just have to be kind of aware that when you do cosplay, you might get people that are, I don't want to say like the cosplay police, but they might say, oh, those shoes aren't right, or you don't have the right wig. Like, you have to just say, hey, this is my version. Like, I wanted to do, for this one cosplay, Cammy, she wears kind of like go-go boots, but I really wanted to wear these white platform boots that I like, that were really cool. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to wear these because I like them. And then I got, you know, several people to say, you should have worn the other shoes. But it's like, it really doesn't matter. And when I went to the con, no one said anything. It was only people online that made the comments about saying I wasn't wearing the right shoes. Mm-hmm.
Then you got those, you always have that person who feels like they need to be better than the next person.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have to say that's something. You don't have to listen to them.
Yeah. Like, I have one comment when I did the Mercy, which is this, I did the Sugar Plum Mercy right there. But I had someone ask, they were like, oh, is this Mercy after she ate all the other characters? What do you mean? He's like, I'm saying you need to go on a diet. Even though there was that negative comment, there were like 10 people that came in that don't even know me in that group, and they completely just like squashed this guy's comment and they were like, no, you know, don't say that. She looks awesome. When you're doing cosplays, don't let one negative comment take away from all the people that are supporting you and positive. Even though you might get one negative comment, for every one, you're going to get like 10 people that are going to love it, and you're going to inspire people, and especially like younger people. They're just sometimes negative people.
So on that, I want to share that especially with the internet, there's always those people who are just in the background, who never leave comments, who may very well think that you've got the best cosplay ever, and they want to comment about everything they've done and everything they appreciate about your costume, but they may never do it, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's several times where I've put work online, and I thought that no one liked it because they didn't comment, or they didn't, like, I didn't seem to have much attention on it, but I'll have people come to me, oh, hey, I saw that thing, that was great, and they didn't leave any comments online, but they did tell me in person later on. So the question is, how many other people still feel that way?
Yeah.
Don't let one or two people bring you down.
Mm-hmm.
If you put time and you put effort into something, someone's going to notice, and they may not actually leave any comments. How many times have you scrolled through Facebook, saw something, it's like, oh, that's great, and kept scrolling?
Yeah.
You know, that means you're one of those people who you appreciate it, you just didn't leave a comment. Like, there's always those people out there. It's easy to be negative, and it seems to be more difficult to be positive. So
yeah.
Don't let the one or two naysayers keep you down.
I think one thing that helped me is actually getting an Instagram for my cosplay, because you almost could become part of this really positive community of other cosplayers who just want to support each other. And I mean, there are some that, you know, they just want followers, but if you're doing it for the right reasons and you don't worry about the number of followers, Instagram can be a really great tool for boosting your confidence. The way that I've gotten a lot of confidence is by complimenting other people. I don't know why, but like, I just love to go and, you know, share someone's cosplay if they did a really good job. So don't be afraid to support other people, because a lot of artists sometimes get in this mindset that, like, if someone else is succeeding, they're like competition, or like that means you're failing. But just because another cosplayer is doing better or is more successful, it doesn't mean that you have failed. So
you don't have to compare.
Yeah, no comparison. Yeah. Other than that, on cosplay, one way that you can show your viewers that, you know, you put a lot of work into it is by posting videos, like progress videos, and then when you do finish the final product, like, they're gonna see you put a lot of work into this. And even if you didn't, like, don't feel bad. You don't have to feel bad if you bought your cosplay from Hardy City, or if you just, you know, got a cool shirt and a wig. Like, don't feel bad. You don't have to feel guilty that you didn't make every piece of your costume. So that's another thing, is like, that I think we need to get over as a community in general, is that you have to make every single piece of your cosplay.
I had a older couple who were in town, and Pensacon was coming in, and they were like, oh, cosplayers, like, why would people want to do that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And you might come across, maybe you've got an older relative that doesn't understand. And I found myself explaining it to them that, like, you know, Halloween's coming around. I'm like, I know you've heard of Halloween. People dress up for Halloween. And usually they're like, oh yeah, that's normal though. Like, how is it much different though? Like, really, like, you're putting time and effort to become a character. You do that during Halloween, it's a different level when you're looking at cosplay. Yeah. I found myself explaining it to a few family members that way, and that seems to work out great. If you have that person you need to explain yourself to, but...
Yeah, and at a certain point, I think, like, because I have, you know, family members that don't necessarily get into the same things as me, and they don't understand why I might like gaming or cosplaying. So you just kind of have to just let it roll off your shoulder if you get comments like that. Oh, yeah, I think just educating people that cosplay is, like, a big thing, and it's something that, you know, a lot of people do for fun. You do it to escape. Some people do it for a creative outlet, and some people just do it because they like to bring a character to life.
Don't let people bring you down for how you look or what you're doing or how you're dressed. Like, it doesn't matter. They've got flaws. Like, you don't have to look at your flaws as flaws. There's a picture that was posted. It wasn't really put in this angle. There's a picture someone posted of an apple looking in a mirror, right? And they were looking at just their shiny side, and on their back had a bunch of damage, had a bite missing. You can choose to see your own beauty. You can choose to focus on the ugly part, or you can choose to see what makes you great. I know people are self-conscious, and that's natural, that's normal, but you don't have to let that be the focus. You don't have to keep your attention on that. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't let negativity bring you down. Find that friend, find that family member that's good at bringing you up, and have them on standby if you need them. You're going to have bad days. Everyone does.
On my worst days, when I can lift someone else up, it completely changes my day. And then just when someone, or if someone reaches out to you, I had someone at work one time, I was having a terrible day. It was peak of, I had an anxiety spike and depression. They wrote a paragraph about how kind and helpful I am when I call or when they get me on the phone, and just getting that really helped boost me up. And I emailed her, and just me sending the email to her to thank her is what made me feel better, even better than after reading the comment. It's it was a second boost just responding. So I think lifting people up, if you're ever feeling down, one thing I like to do is on my Instagram, my cosplay one, I like to go and look for other cosplayers that are doing really cool stuff and share it, and I'll be oh my gosh, go check out this person, her cosplay looks awesome, and then just sharing that, it just makes me feel better, because I feel maybe I made someone's day, or maybe made someone smile.
Sometimes even just being around it can help. If you hear someone next to you and they're extra happy, or they've complimented someone, if it's done tactfully, that's great. Sometimes it'll make me feel better because I'm in that environment. So in Gamers4Positivity, we had a recent post where you could just leave random compliments for people, and I left one for someone, and the idea is you don't leave a name. You don't let that person know who you're complimenting them. You just leave the compliment. And I left one for a random person, which I will still leave nameless, and it was great just putting it down on paper. I didn't give it to them, not directly. They might find it, but it still felt great putting it down.
Yes.
And sometimes maybe that's what you need. Maybe you just need to write a compliment about someone. Maybe you just never share it.
One thing that helped me with cosplay and gaming is just kind of appreciating when someone is really good at something, instead of trying to see them as a threat. And also seeing that if you see someone at a con, or you see someone at a gaming convention, or any kind of thing like that, and they seem really confident, that's not always the case. They may have struggles too. So just think, if you're sharing a picture on Instagram of cosplay, or you're sharing a stream that you're doing for your game, just know there's someone out there that's also insecure, and they may look confident. So we're all kind of fighting our own insecurities, and just because someone is coming off as very confident and stuff doesn't mean that they don't need your support as well. Because I've seen cosplay before where I was wow, she looks so perfect, and she has nothing to be insecure about. And then I ended up getting to know this girl, and she was telling me how she's really insecure and stuff, and we actually just kind of boosted each other up. And I told her some tricks with cosplay, wearing a corset underneath your cosplay if you're insecure about your tummy area. We kind of shared tips and stuff that help us feel more confident. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there, but just realizing that even the most confident people still have their own battles they're facing, and they still deserve kindness. We all deserve kindness.
There's not a bad reason to give someone a compliment. There's an improper way to give someone a compliment. There's quite a few ways to do that, but it's never a bad idea to try to give that kudos.
Yeah.
Whether it's a game, whether it's a cosplay, whether it's anything, just granted, I understand there's factors that, maybe you're shy, maybe you don't feel comfortable talking to that person, but if it's someone if it's someone you feel needs that boost, do it.
Yeah. I mean, I get people, I've had multiple people tell me that I come across very confident, and very like sure of myself. And there was a couple girls and a guy, and I like opened up to them on Messenger, and I was like, hey, like I know I might seem that way, but like I'm really insecure, and I have plenty of insecurities, like, and I've had a whole dark history of stuff that I dealt with: eating disorders, depression, anxiety. I'm sorry, my dog is underneath our table, but you know, and I kind of open up to them. So sometimes just opening up to people and allowing yourself to be vulnerable can help, because telling your story can help inspire someone else, and maybe they're experiencing the same things.
Sometimes sharing that story, that negative that you had, will sometimes inspire someone to want to follow you more.
Yeah.
There's a few celebrities I can think of that are like, you know what, they went through that thing that I can relate to, and I'm behind them now. I'm really hoping for the best for them because I know what they've gone through.
Yeah.
And there's always that someone.
I'm trying to think. Like, I can think. Well, I guess like J.K. Rowling. She would be someone that comes up, to the top of my head. Just what she went through and where she is now. You're just like, how? We all have our own journey, and the speed at which someone might get success might not be the speed at which you might get success. If you wanted to be like a famous cosplayer, it might be later, it might be earlier. It's all just kind of random, Like, you can't expect to be
And do
perfect.
things for the right reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, not just for...
Don't expect to be the best singer in the world just because you start putting yourself on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, do that. If that's fun, do that because that's the right reason. But don't do it because you're expecting to be that person, that you expect to be that famous, because that's going to come if it comes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that can bring you down if you have unrealistic expectations of yourself.
Yes. And I think that was one thing that helped me starting out, is like, I'm really okay with being vulnerable, and like, it sometimes can borderline into self-depreciation where I'm like, oh, I suck. I think just being okay with like I started my cosplay Instagram, or cosplay art and makeup page all this year, and like I'm okay admitting that my videos aren't the best quality. I'm not great at video editing. I'm not perfect. But I think just taking that step to start it is what really can help, because then if people know that you're trying, and they know that you don't think you're some famous perfect person, then I think they're more likely to support you, because they know that you are you're just trying to succeed just like everybody else. Just being humble. That's the word.
I think they've been talking around that word for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, just be humble. If you're a new cosplayer, just know there's going to be people who spend twice as much time, money, effort as you, and that's fine. But it doesn't take away from your cosplay. I think just doing challenges sometimes helps me. Like Inktober right now last year is the first time I did it. It's where there's a list of prompts, 30 prompts, and each day you do a new sketch. Like before Inktober, I knew I could like paint and draw and stuff like a little bit, but I didn't think I was really good at all, like at all. And I just enjoyed it. But then I did Inktober, and just doing a sketch every single day, it really boosted my confidence in my drawing skills, because I felt like each day I got a little better. And then I was like, I'll just do an Instagram, and if no one likes it, then that's fine. If I only have 3 followers, like, oh well. Like, don't worry about followers. Like, if you only have 3 people that want to support your art, then like...
This comes back to doing things for the right reasons.
Yeah, just appreciate those 3 people, and then just know you're doing it because you want to share your art, not because you want followers.
Completely improvised here, so she doesn't know I'm about to ask this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do a little bit of a game on our way out.
Okay.
So we're going to do random compliments for random people who you pick and choose what compliment apply to you. Like, I really like your singing voice in your car.
Okay, so I think you are an amazing writer, and you have so much talent, you just have to take that first step.
And for you, the artist here that never posts anything, post something. Put something out there. Put your name on it.
Thinking of, I have like so many in my head because I love compliments is like one of my favorite things. I just love throwing out compliments like candy. Just like, yeah. So, and I keep wanting to say it. I have to like refrain from being like, so and so, you need to do this. So I need to not say their name. For another person, I think you doubt yourself, and you shouldn't, because you have a lot to offer the world. You have heart of gold and so much to give, and just kind of need that boost of confidence that I know is in you.
You're very quirky. People don't understand your humor, but you're still hilarious. Keep doing what you're doing. You're great.
Yeah. And to someone that I know, you're an amazing artist, and you don't need to compare yourself to anyone else. What you're doing is perfect, and you don't have to conform to a certain commercial look that some people are trying to force you to do. Just know that what you're doing is awesome.
You don't have the fanciest of clothes. You compare yourself to others who you think are more successful than you, but they're really struggling just as well as you are. They're just better at hiding it.
That is true. There's a lot of people that are better at hiding their insecurities. So,
let me know if you're...
I have a couple more. So,
okay.
You are extremely talented. Doubt everything you create, and you hate it, but I think deep down, you know you got it going on. And you just need someone to see that, and you need to just take the time to invest in that thing that you're doing. You know I'm talking to. I'm just kidding. I hope they know.
You're always working too hard, and that's a good thing. But don't feel bad if you need to take time for those people who really care for you around you.
Mm-hmm.
They're important too. Work's not everything. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop. But breathe, say thank you, and spend time with those people around you.
Yeah. And I think my last one is, you've been through so much, and I'm so proud of where you've come, and just what you were able to get through with such strength. It's hard for me to finish that one because it's a little emotional. So, but just know that everyone around you is like really inspired by how strong you are.
We're going to just stop on that one. But it's been great.
Yes.
Thank you for everyone who tuned in or will yet to be tuning in. And this is hopefully one more of many more videos. And definitely leave comments, communicate to us. Let us know what we're doing right. Let us know what we're doing wrong. One thing about Gamers for Positivity, and I'm going to be giving a post about this later, is we do want your feedback. We do want you to leave comments, interact with us. It's more about the group. So if you want to see more videos like this, definitely let us know. If you don't, that's fine too. That's fine. But we're trying to stay active. We're trying to keep material out there. So, and I'd love to hear from you. I'm sure Lindsay would love feedback on things that she's putting up there on her pages. Communication. Just let us know.
Yeah, and if you ever need, if you ever need some advice or anything, like even if it's not something I'm like super experienced with, I will go out of my way to help you find the tools that you need. Like with cosplay, if you want to add me, and you can message me anytime. LindsayLoveCosplay, if you want any like advice on makeup, like, or if you ever need someone to do your makeup, I'm always happy to give tips and help people with like cosplay makeup or just you know, makeup in general. But you can find me, you know, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Please stand by while we try to act like we know what we're doing. I am looking at Instagram. I can see. I need to learn how to pronounce it first. That's a great first step. Nothing will teach you patience like giving our computer back in dial-up.
Yes.
Did you have that pleasure?
Yes.
Oh yes, wonderful. Last of Us going to go into next.
I did too. My brain just went. It does that a lot.
Meanwhile, Lindsay will sing you a song.
I can't sing.
Says her.
I can't sing. I forgot what I was going to say, actually.